I am a minority. I am not straight. I am not a male. I am not exceedingly rich. But despite all that, I am white, which means I have privilege. I have never been discriminated solely because of my skin color. I do not have to be afraid to walk the streets, afraid that a cop will shoot me for no reason, will kill me just because of my skin color. I have a platform. It's a small one. There are like 3 of you here. But it's a platform nonetheless. And I support my black brothers, sisters, and siblings. All the way, 100%. For all of you white, straight males, here is a bit of a rant about how it feels to be a minority, any minority, or even just someone with their eyes fucking open. It's anger and fury and frustration, and it's burning in your chest, crawling up your throat until you can barely hold yourself back, until you can hardly stop yourself from shouting and screaming and raging at the world. Because the world is unjust, and people are unfair, and they try and hide it under pretty bows and fancy cars and condescending words of, life's not fair, sweetheart. And you want to rage and set the world on fire, burn it to the ground because of all the injustice, because of all the pain and suffering and absolute assholes who have crawled their ways to the top of the food chain. But you can't. But you can't because you are one person. But you can't because even when you do let out your shouts and fury, you are disregarded and ignored, stepped over and on. But you can't because everyone else who's tried has been beaten down and broken and discredited, and you are angry, but you are also afraid, and you have been told so often that that's just the way the world is, and that that's just human nature. But you've seen human nature so many times, and it is so beautiful. It is people helping one another without witness and without reward. It is children being kind and open and innocent with those who their parents would put down. It is the efforts of the world pulling together to help out those affected by a disaster. And it is an infinite number of small, impossible moments where people are just kind. It's beautiful. But it is also so terrifying. It is bombs and wars and poison and murder and rape and torture and hate and bigotry and people doing horrible things for no good reason at all. And it is unfortunately common enough that those horrible people have enough of a smokescreen to hide behind by claiming it's simply human nature. And so no matter how much you want to rage for the sake of the world and those around you, the world itself seems against you. And so you take to heart what you have been conditioned to do all your life. Just ignore all the bad things, except to maybe volunteer once or twice at a homeless shelter. Go through life thinking, this is just how things are. There's nothing to be changed. And you settle. And yet in your heart, a fire still burns, waiting until the time comes, because you still want to watch the injustice in the world burn to ash. That time has come. It is a constitutional right, and it is a duty of all Americans to go against dictatorships. If the government is no longer protecting the people's interests, no longer protecting the people it serves, then it is an inefficient government, and we need to take it down. Black lives fucking matter.